Hi everyone, welcome to Fat to Thin Seniors RNY. I'm Raven. I was 76 years old when I had gastric bypass surgery, December 16, 2019. Medicaid approved the surgery. Last week I talked about food and what the food advertisements are really trying to sell you. I also spoke about people who inspired me, and I'm grateful for them. In this vlog, I'll be talking about my attitudes towards eating and my attitude toward fat people and their bodies. It's not like I'm not fat, you know. I'm still a fat person. And at this time, that's the way it is no matter what anybody say. People tell me I'm wasting away. If you're curious, please join me on this journey and continue to watch. Last week I talked about food and food advertisements, food industry, the food, everything to do with food. And what are they really trying to sell you? I mean, it's generally not the food. It's some kind of lifestyle or something. And I also talked about people who inspire me. These people who are not, I mean, they have weight issues, but they're not gastric bypass patients. They just inspire me because of how they're trying to get their life back together. Lately, nothing much tastes good to me, and I can't decide what to eat. So I've got food in the house. I've got food that I could stick in the microwave, or stick it in the air fryer, or put it in the Instant Pot and have it done, you know, in 10 minutes kind of a thing. But I don't seem to want to eat what I have, and I don't seem to want to eat what's out there. But I keep looking for something. It's like standing in front of the refrigerator with the door open, you know. I think maybe it's too many choices or something of that sort. Anyway, I think what's happening is that I'm slipping back into the habit of emotional eating. When I've realized that when I'm looking with the proverbial refrigerator door open, that I'm not really hungry. I'm just looking for something to throw in my face, you know. I think I'm just bored. Hate to admit that, but I think that's what it is. But I think being aware of this boredom and wanting to shove food in my face because I don't have anything else to do, or can't think of anything else to do real quick, or whatever, being aware of it is a good thing, because that stops you. It stops you right in your tracks. At least it stops me. Oh, of course, there are times I do make the choice to just eat something anyway, but I mean, you know. And I went out yesterday. I had to go to a doctor's appointment, get blood tests, all that kind of stuff, you know. Stuff you can't do teleconferencing, you know. So I had to go to the doctor's office, clinic, the whole deal. And while I was sitting in the doctor's office, I, for some reason, started watching fat men's feet. Okay, so I'm crazy, you know, that's the way it goes, you know, it's no big deal, okay? But I realized that almost all of them were wearing flip-flops. Well, not the kind that you just, you know, hook around your toe, but the one that hooks over the whole foot and then has a flap that it's got Velcro in it to hold their feet in place. Well, all but one was wearing a shoe that was way too big for them, so that the foot, well, the toes were hanging over the front and hitting the bare ground, you know, the concrete. And the heel was sticking out, you know, 2-3 inches, whatever, in the back. So they kind of, it's just really strange. Now, the other thing I was looking at, I mean, not only were they all fat, but they were all very differently dressed, looked like they came from different economic groups. But they all had these shoes, these feet, except one man. And he was the manager of the coffee place inside the complex. And he was wearing flip-flops, but they were bright red, and they had little white spots on them. Now, being my age, my eyes are not the best. I kind of guessed that maybe they were hearts, or maybe they were little flowers, probably hearts. But his shoes fit him perfectly. Okay, very well dressed. It was just incongruity seeing those red shoes. And if you looked at the rest of the man, you would never have thought red shoes. But that was a shock to my view of fat men, you know, of fat men's feet. I have no idea why I sat there and watched that. You know, it was just crazy. And then there are fat women. Well, I gotta say also, all of these fat men, except the man wearing the red shoes, looked like they were in some sort of pain. They kind of shuffled along, walked, bent over. They all looked the same. You know, it's a shame. I mean, they weren't the same person, but they basically all looked the same, all kind of hunched over, all kind of shuffling along, all with the shoes too big, all of them overweight, all of them just amazing. There was some kind of societal group or something of the sort that I missed, you know, fortunately. And then there are fat women. I was playing a game, a computer game. I'm big into computer games. Well, not really as big as I used to be, but I was playing this game. It was a time management game in a hotel where you had to serve the customers, you know, it was a game. So it was the first time I was playing the game, and I had gone in 3, 4, 5 levels, and in the next level, there was this cartoon. I mean, the whole thing is cartoon, okay? This fat woman. I mean, she was fat. Her butt jiggled, her sides, her hips jiggled. I mean, she was maybe 3 times as wide, twice as wide as her body on each side. A body on each side of her body in the middle. Okay, so there was 3 bodies length across. And her hips jiggled, and her... Now this is a tiny, 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 tiny little animation, you know, in a game on the computer. And I was so annoyed. I mean, I must have gone through 100 different emotions if I went through one. About her fat butt and jiggling. And they showed her jiggling, walking towards me at the desk, you know, and jiggling, going to her room. And I played, I don't know how many more levels, but each level she was in it. And then there was one level where they only had that particular character, you know, 10 different times. I mean, they didn't change the outfit or anything. It was the same animation, but 10 different times during that particular phase of the game. And I was just annoyed. I mean, it's just amazing. And then I was out yesterday, so I went to the doctor, and so I decided to go stop at the supermarket and pick up some grapes and stuff like that, right? And I was coming towards the cash register, and there was this man who was leaning out into the main aisle from one of the side aisles, and he was leaning on his cart, you know, with his butt in the air, and talking to some people. And his pants, I mean, this was more than the crack of his ass that I was seeing. I was seeing pretty much his whole butt, you know. Now, normally I would have been really upset about that. I don't know what it is about the crack of men's asses that it just turned me off, just set me up, you know, and I just hate it, you know. And, but this time, I realized that here I am walking up on this man. I am not going to get upset. I don't give a damn about his ass, and keep going. So I did. And as I passed him, I mentally thanked him for showing me his ass so that I can get over this. Okay. But that leads me to believe. That leads me to consider, how did I view me? How do I view me as a fat person? If I was so annoyed over a cartoon, if I was so annoyed over a man's butt, like, why do I care? I don't even know what his face looked like. You know, what do I think of me? You know, and how do you view you? Okay, so anyway, that's what I was thinking about as of yesterday. Let's go on to self-sabotage. Well, I did decide this week to do a cheat box of Cheez-Its. I didn't do a meal. I didn't do a day. I just bought a box of Cheez-Its. I did not buy the family size, you know, or anything like that. And it took me, you know, 2 days to eat it, but 3 days to eat it. And it was almost as good as I remembered it being. I mean, my tastes have really, really changed. I ate the whole box, but I never overdosed during any of the time that that box was there. I ate some, and I put the rest away. I did not eat the whole thing at one sitting, or even 2 sittings, okay? Which I want you to know is amazing, okay? It's still not one of those things that I could have some in the house and eat it whenever I feel like it. That's a special treat. I can't even call it a meal, but a special treat meal. And that's it, you know. And not every week, you know. I get to choose amongst one thing, you know, instead of having a whole conglomerate of stuff that I buy that I know damn well I can't eat and costs a small fortune, and having it here tempting me. And that's the way it is. We'll see how this works. I mean, I've tried a whole bunch of other things too. I've also been eating somewhere around 1,000 calories, or under 1,000 calories. It's, I think, maybe once or twice this week I went to 1,040 something calories, you know. But this is for the whole week. For the 7 days, I've been eating close to over 800, under 1,000 calories. And I lost 2/10 of a pound. Ask me why. But I've also been walking more. And I'm walking more vigorously. And I've noticed from charting everything that it's taking me less time to walk that same distance. So I'm not showing it on the scale, but my body feels pretty good. I mean, I want to walk further, it seems. I mean, I get that feeling like I want to go, you know, let's go, let's get somewhere, let's do something. I'm doing the Inca Trail Marathon, and I'm going to put some pictures up here so that you could see what's going on. This really isn't a marathon in my book, because as far as I'm concerned, a marathon is something that you do 26 miles continuously in one day. This is going to take less than one day. I had to sign up according to by weeks. You couldn't do 20 days and, you know, 15 hours or whatever, what your guess would be. So I put down 4 weeks. I think I might be able to do this in 3 weeks, but we'll see. I tell you the truth, I'm enjoying recording my time and seeing the map route that I walked and the pictures of where I'm walking in Peru. And they also show me the weather in Peru. It's a lot cooler in Peru. It is 109 degrees right now. And it is 57 degrees Fahrenheit in Peru, you know. And I feel like I could stand to be somewhere halfway between the two, you know. So these pictures. First picture is the calendar of my daily walk, and this shows miles per day. You notice that I'm not really walking that far because we are experiencing extreme heat. There was one night 2 days ago, I think it was, I went walking at like 9 o'clock at night. It was 101 degrees outside, Fahrenheit. 101. This week, Death Valley had reached its highest recorded history that has been authenticated. They said that it had been recorded at 134, I don't know, a bunch of years ago, 1930, 12, whatever it was, in the early 1900s. And they think, I think it was 1913, and they think it was because it was the 13th year and it was the 13th day and some stuff like that. So they made it, put it down higher, you know, just to get the publicity going. But recorded this week was 130 on the ground in Death Valley. And they believe that that is the highest actual recorded temperature. Now, I live halfway between Death Valley and the Mojave Desert. So we've been experiencing higher than normal temperatures also. 112, 10, 11 on a daily basis is, for weeks on end, is unusual here. I mean, we'll get a week, you know, or something like that, of very high temperatures, but it's been getting higher and higher every year, and we're not global warming any, you know. That's what people are telling me. I don't know. I don't know if it's global warming or if this is a natural occurrence or what, but it is hot, and it's too hot to be walking for any length of time, you know, even if you carry water. So the first picture is the calendar of my daily walk. The second picture is the actual route that I walk with Rowley. I forget what date that is. The next is, this next map is a topographical map of where I am on the Inca Trail. This view is looking forward on the Inca Trail. I mean, you could do a 360 turnaround and see that, but unfortunately my cameras don't work that way. And so it's a street view. It's pretty cool. When I got to 20% of the walk, excuse me, they planted a tree. So at every milestone of the walk, they plant a tree, which is a wonderful thing. As far as I'm concerned, it's helping out. So I not only, you know, paid for my medal that I'll get at the end of the walk. I decided, they didn't have any shirts, so I didn't get a shirt. But the good thing is that they plant trees, which is one of my favorite things. Okay. Now Rowley, on the other hand, let's go on to the Rowley report. He's okay. He's still not using the buttons. I still am. I was thinking of adding one more button called walk, because he gets really excited when I say walk, along with pressing the outside button and saying outside at the same time. So I press outside, walk, outside. And who knows, maybe one of these days he'll press the button. I think he might be afraid that the button is going to move, because he tried it once and it kind of like popped up, you know. So who knows. So anyway, he's learning. He's learning. His manners are getting better. He's getting better around people. He's doing really good. And every day I could see that he's getting better, and he's enjoying the walks, and I'm glad that he's here, to tell you the truth. So, to sum up, I'm feeling good. I don't have any regrets about the surgery. I don't have any regrets. It was the right thing for me to do. And it still feels like it's the right thing for me to do. I feel good physically, mentally, spiritually. This was the step I needed to take, and I would do it again. So please share, subscribe, like, comment, ring the notification bell, okay, so you can get notified next time I run off at the mouth, okay? Thanks for those for people who've subscribed. And don't forget to click show more to see stuff in the description below. There's information about the races and that stuff. I still haven't found a second race that's free that I want to do yet. When I do, I'll put it in the notifications, okay? Take care of you and yours. Stay safe, okay? And blessed be.